Hey, Aaron Adams here, founder and CEO of Alpine Capital Solutions. I wanted to take just 15 or 20 minutes today and break down a topic that falls in my lap a lot as a real estate investor because I get so many people that want to understand how the wealthy are taking advantage of retirement accounts, how the wealthy are investing in real estate using 401k money and IRA money, the type of vehicles that they use to invest. And sometimes I think there's a gap of you have legal professionals who definitely understand the entity creation, some of those that whole side. You have tax professionals who think about obviously the tax side and those implications. And then you have the whole industry of the investment side. So you got your Fidelities, your Charles Schwab, your Vanguard, your self-directed folks. And I feel like the three groups are often not speaking the same language. They aren't breaking things down in a way that I think makes sense to an investor. So what I want to do for you today is I've prepared a few slides because I want to break down what I'm calling my self-directed secret presentation, where I want to kind of walk you through, or what I like to call K through 12 for you, retirement investing, and show you how the rich folks are using the legal structures, the tax benefits, and the different types of vehicles that are out there to really, really 10x their retirement investing, their retirement savings, and the returns that they're making in the retirement. Now, if you're watching this, raise your hand if you have an account with Fidelity, Charles Schwab, or Vanguard. That should be like 90% of you, because those are the big three. Those are the big three that manage 401ks and IRAs. And what's funny is that very few of the wealthiest Americans that I know actively use those companies as their main way to invest. Okay, it's not that rich people don't have accounts with Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard. They do, but they just go about it in a different way. And so I want to take your kind of starting understanding of I got a 401k, it's managed by Fidelity. Yes, I'm listening, Aaron. To how do you buy crypto with it? How do you partner with other investors to do developments? The whole I make too much money, I can't have a Roth. So I want to kind of hack that for you briefly here, 15 minutes, give you an overview as a starting point. Okay. Now let me just open my slides here and share my screen. And then let me just get that set up here. And then last, I'm going to get it so that I can annotate. There we go. So I can write on the screen while I talk today. Thanks for bearing with me here for a second. So this is called How the Wealthy Use Retirement Money to Invest in Non-Traditional Investments Other Than the Market. So let me back up and break down for you. This is an example that I've heard, and it always blows my mind because it talks about Peter Thiel. Now, many of you have probably heard of Peter Thiel, and in 2000, okay, he had a Roth self-directed IRA with a couple $1,000s into it. 20 years later, he had $5 billion in his Roth. Now, a lot of you have heard of a Roth. Let me give you a homework assignment. If you don't have a Roth, you need to have a Roth. Some people say, well, I make too much. Not anymore, okay? There's the strategies the wealthy use. You need to write down backdoor Roth, and you need to write down SEP Roth as different ways that you can set that up. But let me just give you an example, a personal example. My wife set up a SEP, a Simplified Employee Pension, about 9 years ago, right before we got married. And because she doesn't have employees, that's a great structure. And one of the things one of the outcomes I want to give you as part of this call is the chance to do a one-on-one with a retirement expert that can help you find out if you qualify for some of these. But basically, it's allowed her to put 20% of what she's made up to about 60, 70,000 bucks. Now, why that's been good is over the last years, her contributions have averaged about $50,000 to $60,000 a year. So just take the low number of 50,000, 50, 150, 250, 350, 400, 450,000. She's been able to make in contributions. Now, if you are watching this and you're like, yeah, I need to put more in, one thing you have to remember, you may have a 401k with your job. You may have an IRA that you set up. You're not limited by the number of accounts. And so there's reasons why the wealthy have multiple retirement accounts. I'm gonna dig into that a little more. But why that should apply to you specifically is that if you don't have a Roth, you need to get one set up. And typically when we have a client that attends one of our events, we give you 2 free self-directed IRAs. Those can be traditional or Roth. But if you don't have a Roth, you're an idiot, because look at Peter Thiel. He had a Roth. Now, in 2000, he had $2,000 in there. We know that because that's what he claimed. In 2001, his maximum contribution was $5,000. 2002, 5,000. 2003, 5,000. That's all he was able to contribute. Over the next 20 years, his contributions were just about $100,000. That's all he could put in that Roth. So how did he get it from $2,000 to $5 billion? He made it on the growth. Guys, rich people obsess about the investments inside. Poor people are like, how do I put more in there? Oh, so if you were listening to this, you went, oh, his wife put $50,000 a year into her retirement account. If that's what's exciting you, guys, I can show you how to do that in about 2 seconds. Okay, solo 401k, write that down, and SEP, Roth. Okay, write those 2 down. If you want to put more in, that's easy. What I don't want you to think about is how do you put more in? Because guys like Peter Thiel, they think about, how do I make it grow? Now, this is the guy that started PayPal, and he literally put his 5,000 in and then bought shares of PayPal. So when it went public, when it sold, he made not millions, not hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. Okay. And so that's the first fundamental shift I need you to have as an investor is to move over to the world of growth inside the account. Now, I want to let me move this here. There we go. I want to map out the landscape for you here of what's happening in the US, because the number one provider of retirement accounts is Fidelity. And hold your hand up if you have a Fidelity account. As of June 2024, they have 24 million accounts, 24 million 401k accounts that they manage across 26 corporate plans, 26,000. They also manage 16 million IRAs. So Fidelity's the elephant in the living room. The rough estimates are they're managing 1/3 of U.S. retirement dollars, which is just staggering because they're privately held. We know that it was started by great grandpa back in the 1940s. The family's made billions of dollars, but we really don't have any idea. And like I mentioned earlier, you have Fidelity, Vanguard, and Charles Schwab. They're the big 3. That makes up 90% of the retirement market. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with these companies. Okay, the problem for you as an investor is that these companies all focus on stock. Okay, they focus on the market. They want you to invest in mutual funds. If you go into your Vanguard guy and say, hey, I want to buy a duplex in my 401k, he's going to say, you cannot do that. If you go to your Fidelity, but what he's not saying is you can't do that at Vanguard. If you go to your Fidelity and say, I want to mine crypto, or I want to buy crypto, I want to buy Bitcoin in my IRA, they're going to say you can't do that. What they mean is you can't do that here at Fidelity. And so these companies are just trustees, okay? All they do is let you put your retirement dollars in their trust account, and then you tell them what kind of stock investment you want to make. Now, if you're a savvy investor, you're like, Aaron, it's not just stock. Okay, but I'm trying to K through 12. I'm trying to keep this basic understanding for folks. And so you go in, these companies, as the trustee, will only provide oversight for you to invest in the market. That's the short of it. They don't want to be the trustee that lets you do real estate. They don't want to be the trustee that lets you do crypto. Now, the federal government has said there's only 3 things that you just can't do with your retirement money. You cannot buy collectibles. So no Babe Ruth cards, no collectible cars, no fine wine, no art. No one, no trustee is allowed to let anyone invest in collectibles. So that's number one. Number two, you are not allowed to invest in anything with an S corp. Okay, so you can't do anything inside of an S corp in your retirement account. And the third thing that you're not allowed to do is you can't use your 401k, your IRA, to pay the premiums on your life insurance. Okay, those are the three things that no one can do. Fidelity can't let you do that. Vanguard can't. No one can let you do that. Okay. However, the trustees and non-traditional trustees have the ability to let you invest in businesses, real estate. There's a whole range of things that trustees can decide whether or not they want to let you do it. So Fidelity, Vanguard, and Charles Schwab are just like, we will only let you invest in the market. If you can buy it through an E-Trade account, then we're cool with it. Otherwise, forget about it. Okay, that's kind of their rule of thumb. And so what rich people do is they find self-directed companies. You've probably heard of a self-directed IRA. That's what I want to focus on, because self-directed trustees will allow you to invest in non-traditional. Now, I have personally had my retirement account, my self-directed IRA. My wife has had her SEP IRA. My children's Roths, they all have been with IRA Club. That's iraclub.com out of Chicago. Now, I want to talk a little bit about IRA Club because they are a company that are reputable. I love them. I trust them. If you are watching this because you are my client or you're an associate of my clients, then you can get 2 free self-directed IRAs set up by the IRA Club because of your affiliation with us. And so if you're watching this as part of a presentation today, that's going to be one of the benefits that you get just for joining us here today. But the IRA Club has the exact same kind of trust account that your money goes in, and it's FDIC insured as Fidelity. Okay, they both let your cash sit in an FDIC insured trust account until you tell Fidelity where you want it. So if you want a mutual fund, if you want to invest in NVIDIA, if you want to invest in an index fund, okay, your cash just sits in their trustee account. IRA Club has a trustee account that your cash sits in until you self-direct, until you tell them. So the biggest difference between self-directed folks and these three is that the self-directed folks let you tell. They don't pretend to advise you on your investments. Vanguard, you can have a financial advisor that helps you navigate your market investments. Same with Charles Schwab, and those are fine. Okay, but the big thing is when you look at the rich and where they put their money compared to middle-class Americans. The rich put their money in a 30-30-30-10 diversification allocation. So they put 30% in the market, 30% into private equity, 30% in real estate, 10% in cash. They do that with their 401ks. They also do that with their non-retirement dollars. They diversify that way. That helps them if the market crashes. They have other investments. If real estate does really great, they have other investments. And so it protects them from downturns in the market and huge run-ups they benefit from as well. And so what's happened is many Americans are just most of their retirement account, and you're probably watching this, and I'm guessing that you may have some cash in there, but most of it's sitting in the market. Now that's been good because we haven't crashed since 2008, but God forbid we crash. Okay. Now, if you have not heard of the Secure Act 2.0, okay, then you've been missing out because this was passed in 2022. And guys, this is a roadmap to Congress benefiting rich people. That's what Secure Act 2.0 is. And so all wealthy, high net worth individuals are intimately familiar with it. Some of you may have been hearing about this for the first time, but guys, Republicans and Democrats united to pass this to benefit the rich. And if you go back to Secure Act 1.0 and you look back at the last 10 years, you've seen the rich retirement accounts do this, and middle class and low income Americans stay flat. And so you have to understand, again, what the big structure is, who the players are, like I've just explained to you, and then you have to understand how Congress is benefiting the rich. A lot of people mistakenly think that Congress is about power, but guys, it's really only about power for money. And the one constant over the last 150 years is, I used to teach history in the high school, is that Congress will benefit themselves first and rich people second, because that's who gets them reelected. And so you have to understand that. And Secure Act 2.0 is a roadmap to rich. And I don't have time to dig into this because, again, my goal is 15 minutes. Looks like I'm almost there anyway. But first of all, there's higher catch-up contribution limits that you need to understand. There's a delay in required minimum distributions. That was part of that. There's expansion of Roth contributions that I've benefited from. So has my wife, so has my children. They have 529 to Roth rollovers. You have enhanced flexibility for charitable giving. And there's just so many things that I would love to take an hour and walk you through this so that you could understand that the rich play a different kind of monopoly in this country. It's gold-plated monopoly. And if you spend a 3-day weekend with me, or if you spend some time meeting with one of my team one-on-one, we will not only walk you through this, but also help you come up with a personalized plan so that you can start investing differently, more effectively for yourself and for your children. Now, I put together this little video that I want to show you guys, and this is an overview of self-directed IRAs. I'm going to just include this in the presentation because I don't want to take 2 minutes to go through this today, but this is just an overview of how self-directed IRAs work, okay? IRA Club is based in Chicago, like I mentioned, and you can invest in a wide range of assets beyond stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, okay? So you can invest in real estate, land, you can invest in businesses or private equity. You can make loans. You can buy precious metals. You can buy crypto. There's a lot of different things that the IRA Club as a trustee will do. Now, this is not some small operation. They're a very well-established organization. 16 years they've been in the industry. They have over 15,000 accounts that they administer. They have creeping up on 1.3 billion in assets under administration. And they do that with only 35 employees because unlike a Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard, they don't pretend to advise you what to invest in. You have to decide that. That's what all wealthy people do. No one said to Peter Thiel, hey, you should buy PayPal in your Roth IRA. No one advised him that. As an entrepreneurial person, he said, man, how do I buy this stock in my retirement account so that I'll never pay taxes on the growth and I'll never pay taxes on the distributions? And that's what he was able to do, okay? IRA Club just spent most of its employees oversee your self-directed investing so you don't make a prohibitive transaction, so you don't mess it up. Now, let me move this little bar here. So the IRA was established in 1974 by Congress. Fewer pensions were being offered. And like I mentioned earlier, there's only, four restrictions: collectibles, life insurance, an S Corp. Oh yeah, and then transactions with a disqualified person. So I cannot loan my son money from my Roth IRA. Okay, I can't loan my son money. I can't loan my spouse money. I can't loan my parents money. My parents can't loan. Okay, so that would be a transaction with a disqualified person. That is not allowed. Now, there's a lot of different types of self-directed. And what you need to do is you need to understand which ones are going to be the best for you. You need to understand based on how much you can put in them, what you already have, what type of business, if any, that you own. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you need to customize to navigate this and to take advantage of it. When you look at clients of the IRA Club, you can see that this mirrors what I was mentioning earlier with our top 1%. About 35% of this $1 billion is in real estate. 10% goes into syndications, which is just a partnership on an investment. 20% are private placements. 10% go into bonds, 20% stocks, 5% crypto. And so as the trustee, IRA Club is happy to let you invest in all of those things. If you go into Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab, they're not going to say you can buy an apartment building in your retirement account where your IRA goes untitled. They won't let you do that as a trustee. They'll try to steer you to investing in a REIT, which there's nothing wrong with a REIT, but again, it's all market based. So if the market crashes, everything in your retirement crashes. And guys, we saw this in 2008 when the average investor lost 50% from their retirement account. And so understanding this structure in the big picture is just your starting point. Next is set it up. Third is learn how to invest in it and how to maximize those returns. Okay. The cool thing about IRA Club, as opposed to Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard, the big three will charge you a percentage. So if for every $100,000 you have in that Fidelity account, you're paying $1,000 to $3,000 a year in fees. You're paying a percentage-based fee structure. Self-directed IRAs like the IRA Club only charges a flat fee structure. Okay, a flat fee structure is gold. So if you have $1 million and you transfer it from Fidelity to an IRA Club account, it's not a withdrawal, you're not taking a loan, you're just transferring it over to a different structure. You only pay $195 per year. So if you just kept your $1 million in cash, $195 a year. If you choose to invest it in the market, you're just paying $195 a year. If you buy a $1 million apartment building inside your IRA and your IRA goes on title, you would pay $195 a year for the account and you would only pay $195. So you would literally go from $1 million of Fidelity, where you're paying anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 a year, to IRA Club with a flat fee structure, and you're literally paying $400 a year. So we see our clients reduce their fees by 95% when they switch from a managed 401k or IRA over to a self-directed environment. It's just thousands of dollars that you save. And you take back control. So you're the one who decides whether you invest in a syndication, whether you do a general partnership or a limited partnership, whether you make a loan, whether you do crypto, bonds, all those decisions you should take back control of as an investor, and those should be what you have control over. Now, I'm hoping that you just have a ton of questions. You're like, interesting, but I want to know. This is usually a presentation that we spend 3 hours on at my 3-day monthly event. And I would love to let you come to that event. If you're watching this, reach out to us and we will get you squared away to attend the event. Not only do you have this educational understanding of how the wealthy take advantage of Secure Act 1.0, 2.0, self-directed accounts like Peter Thiel did, but then we also get you set up with a one-on-one so you can sit down with folks at the IRA Club, map out the structure that is best for you with those 2 free accounts that we're going to give you, and then get those set up. Because as somebody with an 8-figure net worth, I spend all of my time thinking about the investments. Once you get the structure put together and you know how you're going to funnel money to it, how you're going to feed it, then it's just what investments am I going to do so that I can do better than the 4, 5, 6, 7% a year that Vanguard, Schwab, and Fidelity make for their clients after taking the fees out. And so hopefully this has been an interesting starting point for you today. And going forward, I'll have a chance to meet you in person at maybe my monthly 3-day live event or some of the online events that we do on a regular basis. So thanks for taking a few minutes to join me today, and I look forward to meeting you in person very soon.